Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys here today on Thursday, the 1st of April, 2021. Now, you know what? We were worried about the SLR. It seems like nothing much is happening. And I told you guys, the SLR is very complicated. But anyway, we got something new going on. Let's get the chart started right here. Take a look at what's going on. Joe Biden has unveiled a $2 trillion jobs plan and an aim to transform the United States economy. I'm going to tell you guys what. When you embark on modern monetary theory, which is what they've done now, there is really, they embarked on it back in 2008. Really. So it's been actually running for all these years. You know, there's kids out there just growing up that have been under this the whole time, because you have to go back earlier than 2008 to get into a period where we didn't have modern monetary theory. It's progressed since 2008 till now. There is absolutely no backing out now, because what does trying to back out of modern monetary theory look like? A complete and utter meltdown of the entire world's economy, which would lead to, well, everything would just everything runs on money, everything would stop. So you can't back out. You have to be committed to modern monetary theory, because now that we're in it, it's like a trap. It's like when they embarked on quantitative easing back in 2008. They were embarking on something that you can't back out of. You can't never stop it. If you try to stop it, everything crashes. Do you remember the taper tantrum that the stock markets had? And that was a long time ago. That was back during Ben Bernanke. Just the idea of tapering or slowing it down a little bit. You can't get out at this point. You can't get out. It's a one-way roach motel. This thing we're into right now, and so the only way to move is to move forward, and that's what Joe Biden's doing now. This is they're just going to keep adding zeros to your currency. Basically, is the idea of all this. Just keep adding zeros to the currency. But is it a good thing? Yes, because now at this point, because you can't back out, you have to keep moving forward. Moving forward at an ever-increasing pace will bring the economy back up again. And if you can get the economy back up to full speed, then just adding zeros to the dollars, See, the problem is everything got slowed down during this coronavirus period that we're in right now. Slowed down tremendously. So now when we start to bounce back with what we needed to stimulate it to get it back up again, we're going to start to see profound inflation. But just keep adding zeros. What's going to take the hit? Because I'm going to tell you, honestly, you cannot keep moving forward with modern monetary theory and not have a hit happen someplace into the system. In other words, everything's going to be fine. No, what's going to happen is what's going to take the hit is going to be the currency. The currency is going to take the hit. Now, your friends and your neighbors out there, they don't realize. They're sitting there with their money in the savings and they're trying to save money. They're still in this old idea back before modern monetary theory where go to college, get an education, get a good job, and save your money. That don't work anymore. But they're still stuck in that idea. Now, what works now is not going to college and getting a good job. What works now is being an entrepreneur, getting out there and starting a business, finding a little niche that works to create a product and sell that product. And I mean, you can turn a hobby. Find something you love to do. Find something you love to do. Even if you're not young, even if you're on Social Security, and get an extra income coming in, because I'm going to tell you that Social Security check's going to buy less and less and less. You got to have a little something on the side to a little business. Start a little business. You know, find your hobby, find something you like to do, and examine that hobby, and sit there and say, hey, you know, what's some little part or something that the companies in China aren't making? Some little part that's needed, some little thing that's needed. Maybe you're a young guy. Maybe you're into drones. You know, these flying drones. You know, and you start to work on a hobby yourself, and you notice that there's some little part or something that you can build for the drone. You know, that is not being built in China and stuff. And you got your niche market. You got it. And open up a backyard, maybe in your garage. You can maybe start making those parts and selling them on Amazon. First thing you know, boom, you're making an extra income of 40,000, 50,000 a year. And the business is only small. You know, it's tiny. It's right in your garage. You know, and this is the way to move forward. And you're going to find that new money you got coming in, the old money is going to become obsolete, because whatever you were making on your fixed income, you open a business and you've got Social Security, you know, you're going to find that Social Security check buys less and less, but the business that you started is making more and more of the money that you need to keep up with the inflation. You see, because the economy is going to all start to pick up, right? And this is something you can do, you know, to find these niches. These niche markets are really great. There's tons of them out there. If you just examine whatever it is, you know, whatever projects or whatever you're doing in life, I don't know what it is. Maybe you're interested in air conditioning, or interested in drones, or interested in whatever you're interested. Look for these little niche markets. Look for opportunities out there. There are lots of opportunities. It could be real estate, or it could be old cars. Maybe you're interested in old cars. You might be able to find a niche market in there, you know, and start something going, because this is also going to improve the productivity of the country itself, you know, because this is the road we're embarked on. There's no going back now at this point. They're spending trillions and trillions and trillions out there. They're going to be putting that money out there, and entrepreneurs can take a piece of that money, and then you can preserve. Now, what about the money you got in the bank? Maybe you've been saving for years. Okay? You need to diversify. If that's the case, you need to diversify. And you need to diversify in things that are out of the dollar, things that have no counterparty risk, things like gold, things like silver, physical gold, physical silver, things like cryptocurrencies, things that are going in the opposite direction from the dollar, because this is the road we're going down now. And do I think it's a bad thing? I think if this isn't done, I think this is a good thing. If they were not to put this money out there, our economy would sink into the abyss. But by putting this money out there, we're going to get new infrastructure. Our potholes are going to start to get fixed. Our pipes and stuff are going to start to get fixed. Things that you rely upon, our internet's going to get better. This is a good thing, you know, but you got to protect yourself while this is happening, because this is a road we've embarked on now. You got to start thinking differently. You got to start thinking not in the terms of saving your money anymore. You got to start thinking in the terms of spending your money and diversifying while you watch the dollar sink. That way, you won't sink with the dollar. Because if you don't diversify and do it now, diversify your assets, diversify your savings into real physical gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies and things like that. Even if you buy stocks, don't save in dollars anymore. You got to quit that thinking. Stop thinking about going out and getting a big college education and stuff and getting in debt. This is the worst thing you can do. Think about entrepreneurship. What you can find in society to make money. And the best businesses, I'm going to tell you guys, the best businesses are businesses you don't have to invest a lot of initial money into. If you've got to invest $100,000 into a business before you even make $1, that's not a good business. The best business is a business where the initial investment's like $20 or less. And then the business starts making you money right away, and then you start slowly growing it as you go along. That's the best kind of business. It's a business that makes you money and doesn't cost you money. And these businesses are out there. Simple and easy to start, but it's going to require a lot of work on your side. Work, that's what it's going to require. Diligence is what it's going to require. This is where the direction you guys need to move in. You need to do it fast because your dollars are going to, in other words, you're going to get caught in this whirlpool. You hear a sucking sound? You're going to get sucked down the drain if you don't move forward with this. You know? So you need to start thinking out there how you're going to avoid this hyperinflationary sucking sound, not get caught in that whirlpool and get sucked down. Because, you know, a lot of people are going to make out good in this. They're going to be able to drive a new car and stuff while everybody else can't afford to buy a can of beans. You know? Because they're stuck in the dollar and in the old way of thinking. What worked for what worked all the way through years and years ago isn't going to work anymore now. So you got to be quick on your feet. You know? You got to move ahead. You see this coming now. All this money they're pumping in. It's going to create opportunities for some, but for other people that are going to get left behind, you don't want to be one of those people that are going to get left behind. You need to motivate. I got to get on here and I'm going to motivate you guys. Come on. You know, you can do it. And so when this crisis starts to hit, you can have a lifestyle that's pretty similar to what your lifestyle has been all along if you move forward with this. You know? So here it is. It's happening right now. They've passed the Rubicon now at this point. And is it a good thing? Yes, it's a good thing. It's a good thing because it means our economy is not gonna continue to slump. It's gonna start to move forward now, you know, and so you got to move forward with it. Cryptocurrency today, you know, these are good solid investments now. Believe it or not, it's changed. Things are changing really fast, and cryptocurrency is becoming. Yes, it's very volatile. And if you're not up to that, I mean, okay, cryptocurrency is nearly 60,000. I mean, it could drop $10,000 on Bitcoin in a month. It could be down 10,000, or then again, it could be up by 20,000. That's what volatility is. So this is extremely volatile. Remember, when you buy it, it's like buying nitroglycerin. It's that volatile. Cryptocurrencies. Now, they talk about silver's volatility. Silver can't hold a candle for cryptocurrency's volatility. 59,341 for Bitcoin today. That's what it is. And the other coins are all moving up, too. They're in a very progressive bull market. Let's take a look at the silver price today. Silver's coming out of its slump. Personally, I think the cost for production of silver right now is somewhere around probably $18. And they can't take it down below cost of production. Otherwise, the mines won't have any coming in. You know? The mines will, you know what the miners will do? They'll start keeping it for themselves. Because it is an investment. You know, it's just like money. Silver's just like money. And if the price goes down too low, they'll start, I mean, honest to gosh, I mean, the silver will just dry right up. So they can't do that. They can't drive it too much below mining production cost. So if you figure mining production cost is probably 18 or 19 bucks, you know, but they have the ability to drive it down to mining production, or very close to mining production cost. Now, mining production cost was around 14 bucks going back, you know, before we're already in this inflation, guys. That's why the mining production costs went up. It was around 14 bucks. You remember, they drove it down to 14 bucks. And they were having difficulty with the miners. They couldn't make enough money. So they let it come up. You know, it's come up now. It's a little bit higher. The mines are starting to make a little bit of money or a little bit of profit off of it again. Because it's probably around 18 bucks. And that leaves a, what, $7 more or less, you know, that leaves a profit margin for the miners. But they can't drive it down an awful lot lower than it is right now, you know. And the upside, what's the upside for this? Well, the upside's unlimited. What's the downside? The downside's probably around 18 bucks. See, now you got to think about that. When you're buying silver, if you're buying real physical silver, think about what's the downside? Say 18 bucks. What's the upside? Unlimited. Okay? You got to consider that. And that's the risk you take. That downside is the risk you take. So if you're buying in at these prices, the downside is the risk that you're taking. But the risk on the dollar is, over the next couple of years, is going to get cut in half and cut in half and cut in half again. What's the downside risk on the dollar? Okay, let's compare it. What's the downside risk on the dollar? Zero! You know, where's the upside on the dollar? Well, a dollar can't become worth more than a dollar. The dollar's only ever a dollar. So there is no upside. Downside risk is huge. It can go to zero. It can be worth nothing, because ultimately it was worth nothing when it was first started. Well, no, back when it was pegged to gold, but it first started in 1971 when Nixon took us off the gold standard. You know, then the dollar was worth nothing. That's its value, because it wasn't connected to anything any longer, other than them using it to purchase oil. Okay, Dow Jones today, 33,098.65. It's up 117 points on the day so far. Now let's take a look at crude oil. $60.37. It's up $1.21 on the day, or plus 2%. The MOVE index creeping up, 71.27. Now, I've told you guys, instability comes at 75. Anything above 75. So it's getting on a little bit of the toasty side now. We're looking at this MOVE index today. Got to keep our eye on that. Let's take a look now at bonds and rates. Well, some relief in the bond market. We're seeing the rates go down today. The U.S. 10-year is at 1.68, and it's fell 6.5 basis points. The U.S. 30-year fell 7.3 basis points at 2.35. So the bond market is getting some relief, a little bit of relief right now. Let's take a look now at the U.S. dollar index. U.S. dollar index is at 93, and it's dropping. Thank you guys for listening to my show. Like and subscribe. Ring the notification icon. Comment a lot. That really helps my channel. And we'll catch you guys in the very next episode. Bye-bye.